Alright, so this is the story of how my old man lost his life to the Great War. I still remember the cold, lifeless stare he would give me as he creaked back and forth in his rocking chair, his eyes filled with the victims of war. No, he didn't lose his life on the battlefield, but he lost just about everything else. His personality, his ability to speak, and most of all, his happiness. I wasn't even sure if he recognized me half the time. It was as if a complete stranger had taken refuge in our living room. Just a cold, lifeless husk with moons under his eyes and a pair of cheekbones screaming with malnutrition as he sat there, all alone, downing bottle after bottle of whiskey just so that he could feel something. I knew that even if he could no longer speak, that my old dad was probably still in there somewhere. The dad that used to explode with charisma and positivity no matter what the circumstances. You know, the dad that would take me to the park and push me on the swing until his arms got tired and we'd fall over together in the grass. Even when he first got drafted, he seemed so invincible, like no amount of war would ever be able to change him. Even though I knew deep down he was probably scared. The day he left, he made a joke along the lines of, "If there's a God out there, may he have mercy on my soul." If he only knew how tragically ironic that was. Many years went by and my mother became deathly ill, bedbound with a jarring flu that only seemed to get worse every day. Our neighbors would sometimes stop by with homemade medicines and antidotes, but as the days passed, they started to show up less and less. I think it's because they started to realize it was futile. And the day I found my mother dead was the day I was catapulted out of my childhood. I buried her with a handful of tulips from our garden, but for some reason I never shed a single tear. Before she had passed, she had baked an apple pie and let it cool on the kitchen windowsill, hoping the fragrance would help guide my father back home. The very same day my mother died was the last day.
So I guess you have a small penis.
Exactly. And I looked in the mirror and I started crying because I realized that, despite all these tragedies in life, I still had a tiny-ass dick and I would never be able to recover. And that was really, truly, the saddest thing of all.
The owner of my local